Hello friends, this is Fox Nival Studios. Today we are here with new chapter What if Naruto was the leader of Uzoshio? Now let's start the chapter. Once upon a time, there was a boy. He was 5 years old, but he had endured experiences any adult, with the right mindset, would flinch at. His name was Naruto Uzumaki. He had black hair but red tips and red highlights in his spiky hair. He had 3 whisker-like marks on his cheeks. He had eyes reminiscent of a man from long ago which were black with violet rings and blue specks in it. He was wearing white trousers with red trims and a black shirt with the Uzumaki swirl. He had a golden locket with red, black and white thick lines swirling around out until they connect at the middle, forming a circle which form a black, white and red colored Uzumaki swirl. Currently, Naruto was running from a mob of people trying to kill the Kyuubi brat and finish the Yondaimi's job. As he ran, he gripped his locket, just as one of the shinobi in the crowd threw a kunai and it flew through Naruto's hand. "Air!" he screamed. "What did I ever do to you?" Naruto asked, crying. "You killed my wife, brother, child and parents, Kyuubi, don't forget the Yondaime and his wife, and you killed the Yondaime's child and replaced yourself with him after you ate him," a random man said just as he pushed Naruto. Naruto's tear which mixed with his blood dropped onto the locket. An array of seals formed on his body and a yellow flash blinded everybody present. Naruto woke up in a bright, seemingly endless, expanse of light but not blinding.
He saw 2 people, but the red-headed one ran forward and hugged him. "Hello Naruto, I'm so sorry wasn't there for you when you needed me, and I wasn't there and I couldn't be there when you needed me,"
she said in one big breath. "Ka-san?" Naruto asked in a hopeful voice. "Yes, I am your Ka-san," she replied, crying tears of joy and happiness as well as sorrow and sadness. Before she finished, she was hugged fiercely by Naruto. As they hugged, Naruto cried until the bland walked forward and tapped the woman's shoulder. "Hello Naruto. I am your father, Minato Namikaze, the 4th Hokage, but my secret and real name is Minato Senju Uchiha, and your grandparents from my side is Madara Uchiha and Tsunade Senju. Your mother is Kushina Uzumaki, daughter of Ashina Uzumaki and Midori Uzumaki. Your birth and real name is Madara Uzumaki Uchiha Senju, named after you grandpa. Your grandpa and grandma will come to teach you in a year's time. You have a godfather, and he has your sister Mito Uzumaki Uchiha Senju, who is your twin and holds the yang side of the Kyuubi. She was born a minute after you and she is not a shinobi, and she is wearing the same locket as you and you will learn of its powers. If you need to talk to us, channel chakra into your locket. In order to survive, I want you to learn our techniques, which is the Hiraishin, Rasengan and the 9 tails of fiery destruction which are with your grandparents. Understand?" Minato said. Naruto nodded and Minato continued. "Okay, don't forget the Uzunami Kenjutsu style of Uzoshio. The summoning scrolls of the toads from your father and the phoenix, dragon and octopus summoning scrolls, and Fuinjutsu which are also with your grandparents. Your people, the Uzumaki and Senju, are still alive in the real but in hidden Uzoshio. When you have become strong after the Chunin exams, release your real name and revive us with Edo Tensei. Make Konoha suffer for what they have done and protect your sister. Then take them and your family to Uzoshio and take the mantle of Uzu clan head. Take only a few good friends or family, but make sure they are trusted. Also, last tip, your grandpa, Madara Uchiha, is not evil and was never evil, and he was just with Hashirama as White Zetsu, and Black Zetsu fought undercover as Kaguya's will. Black Zetsu, or Madara as he was called, tried to take over the world, and White Zetsu tried to stop him after Madara and Hashirama, the real ones, made Konoha. They hid underground. You hold the Yin Kyuubi, but you are not a monster, and your sister holds the Yang Kyuubi," Minato said. "Then it is decided. I will train on my own until my grandparents, godfather, sister and grandma Midori come here. I will make a few friends, and in the Chunin exams, I will summon you and bring Konoha to their knees, then make my way with my family to Uzoshio. Konoha shall rue the day they hurt Madara Uzumaki Uchiha Senju, the 9-tailed Jinchuriki, son of the Yellow Flash and Red Death, legacy of Madara the Fallen Angel and Tsunade, the Slug Princess, as well as Ashina Uzumaki, the Master of Seals, and Midori, the 9-bladed Demoness. From there I was born, and everybody will wish I wasn't." Konoha was made by 4, Madara Uchiha, Hashirama Senju, Yoruzo Hyuga and Mito Uzumaki. Pairings are to be found out later, but it can be changed if the polls demand it. Black Zetsu was Madara and white Zetsu was Hashirama. I don't own the Naruto series, but the OCs and the storyline are all mine. Kushina and Minato had a second child but hid it. And if you have questions feel free to ask. I will say now I don't accept BS, so if you have a problem don't read or comment respectfully or I will blacklist you. If there is something unexplained, I will explain in author notes, and if I don't please comment as the mean a lot. Cosmic Studios out. 1 year later, I woke up to the twilight dawns of Konoha, the birds chattering and the people all asleep. Today was the day, I would finally meet my sister, Mito and my family. I got up and walked to the wardrobe and put on a gold haori with a red shirt that had a gold Uzumaki swirl. I had white trousers with golden trims and my locket was on my neck. After I had brushed my teeth and ate breakfast, I brushed my teeth again and sat in my room and started Fuinjutsu session and created an array seal which spread across the rooms. It glowed white, then it took me to my mindscape. Oi, citizen of my mind. I said. Filthy, insolent human. How dare you speak to a demon capable of crushing mountains with you in it like that? Leave me be. No, I won't, you are living in my head, oh mighty Kyuubi, and you are going to listen to me. My ancestors have both captured you, my parents sealed you into me. My other ancestors sealed you into themselves. So listen to me, you have a choice, Kyuubi. Either I leave you in here and you wait till my death, or your extraction, or you cooperate, and you get more freedom the more trust we give into each other. And I will make a promise that I will swear and the Shinigami seal I have placed on myself. I believe you are not just a weapon of mass destruction but that you is superior as you have feelings and emotions. So I want both of us to be content. I did not ask for your sealing in me. Neither did you, but because you attacked, this is where we are. I am aware you were under genjutsu and that you never attacked of your own free will, and so I can tell you are a peacekeeper, only attacking if attacked. You can see my thoughts, clear as day. So, listen to me, I am Madara Uzumaki Uchiha Senju. And the Shinigami can witness and bring destruction upon those who lie on the Shinigami seal, that I only wish for your friendship. I promise on my name, my ancestors' names, my honor and dignity as well as my ancestors' honor and dignity to always stick by what I have said and never betray. That is my Uchiha Senju Uzumaki promise. I said, finishing with a grin and a thumbs up as the Shinigami stood over me, his sword poised over my head, though I couldn't see it. Only the Kyuubi could see it, as well as Minato and Kushina and Madara and Tsunade and Hashirama and Mito and Midori and Ashina, all standing behind him with a grin and a thumbs up and a hand on his shoulder. Very well, Madara Uzumaki Uchiha Senju, upon this friendship, I will comply, but you must know my name and history. My name is Kurama, and I am the son of Hagoromo Otsutsuki. I am a being made out of only chakra. But I am capable of everything a human or demon can. I have never had a Jinchuriki talk to me as you have, so I will show you my true form. Kurama said, as he shrank in until a man with red hair and red eyes with Madara-like hair. He had a red kimono and a navy blue haori and a red hakama and a white obi. I am really Susanoo Uzumaki, but I am Madara's ancestor, and I am directly related to you through 2 lines. I will be your brother from now on, he said as he took a step forward and Naruto disabled the gate. Naruto reached his hand out and Susanoo took it as they shook. Naruto jumped and ripped the seal off. We are family, and no family of mine will be behind a cage or in a sewer. Here, let me give you a better home. Madara stretched out his hand. Fire spewed out from hand, encased the whole room and burned all the water, and nobody could see until trees spouted out and encased the room, and a pond formed in the middle of a clearing with a house, and a seal was burnt into a small patch of grass. Susanoo, you have full access to the outside world, and together we will be the best, and don't forget, Mito. We will take the world by storm, and I promise you, when I have settled down somewhere safe, I will take you to the best places. You will be free and will only be sealed if you wish, I said, speaking with a voice so full of happiness. But I have to meet up with Mito and my family, I said. I pushed my hand out and fire encased my arm, then my whole body, and then I was gone and at the forest of death, and I walked until I saw the Uchiha, Senju, Hyuga and Uzumaki symbol engraved on a tree. I channeled my chakra into it and watched as it glowed as it only ever would if a member of all clans' chakra channeled his chakra into it, but he didn't know that. As a doorway opened in the tree like a hollow, I walked in and the floor parted and I free fell. Yeah, so cool. I screamed as I fell onto a slide. I suddenly slid into a room with dung on the floor where I would have landed, but fire encased me again, and I appeared next to a girl with long black hair, again reminiscent of Madara, with the red tips and highlights and a locket the same as mine. She was wearing a gold shirt and a blue haori and a red skirt. "Hello, Mito, haven't ever seen, but it is nice to see you," I said, turning around and hugging her, and she hugged back. "I am Madara Uzumaki Uchi," I said as I was interrupted. "Ha Senju. Yeah, I know bro," she said with a silky voice made from honey. "Of course, you would, you are my little sis, aren't you?" I replied. "Well, aren't you going to give your grandparents a hug?" Madara said. I walked over and shook Madara's hand, then hugged him. "I always thought you were cool," I said, and he smiled. I turned toward Tsunade and ran at her and gave her a monster hug. Then I ran and hugged Midori. "I wish I was with you guys, so many cool jutsu to show you," I spoke. "I make Nin Fuin, Gen Fuin, Ken Fuin, Shuri Fuin, Nin Ken, Gen Ken and Nin Ken Fuin jutsu. Those are my specialty, and I will improve a lot more." 1 year later, Mito and I are now part of each other. We bonded, our minds work with a single mind, and we know each other inside out. Me and her had enrolled in the academy as late comers and became instant friends with Sasuke Uchiha, Ino Senju and Natsumi Hyuga. Now we all have become such good friends that they know our real names and have met our grandparents. They have been trained like us and their clans as well as our grandparents, but we are better than them, but not by a lot. But in the academy, we are way better. When my spy hidden in the council informed me of the Hokage's decision to wipe out the Uchiha clan and make Itachi responsible, I went straight to Sasuke's older brother and told him to take the Uchiha clan to where I mentioned, then hide there with them, and I made promise for their freedom. Sasuke and the others were let in on the plan. Me and Mito learned our own versions of Hiraishin and the Rasengan, and we also got our summoning scrolls. We managed to acquire the hawk, owl and snake summoning contract after we killed Orochimaru and Anko to make sure that there was only one. The snake went to Sasuke and he left for 3 months, and the owl went to Ino and the hawk went to Natsumi, as me and Mito share the dragon, phoenix and toad summoning contract, so we left for a month. We learnt the 9 tails of destruction and we perfected it. Today is the day our teams are chosen. Iruka-sensei walked into the room with Mizuki, who smirked evilly as he stared at me, but I gave him a glare which made him back down and whimper like a cornered dog. I looked at Iruka as he smiled at me, and then he greeted everybody, "Good morn," and that's about as much as I heard until he said, "Team 7 sad face. The first ever 5-person team, Naruto Uzumaki, Mito Uzumaki, Natsumi Hyuga, Ino Senju and Sasuke Uchiha. Your sensei will be Kakashi Hatake. Team 8. Kiba Inuzuka, Hinata Hyuga, Shino Aburame. Your sensei will be Kurenai Yuhi," Iruka said, but before he could continue, "Why do they have a 5-man team?" Kiba asked. "Because we are the best and we are all at the so-called same level and can't be split up, and we can't tolerate anyone other than each other because of morons like you exist," Mito and I replied at the same time. "Thank you, Naruto and Mito, but next time leave the telling off to me, next time." We replied. Team 10, Shikamaru Nara, Choji Akamichi and Sakura Haruno. Your sensei will be Asuma Sarutobi. It was a pleasure teaching you all, and I feel all of you becoming the best of the best generation. I wish you all the best of luck," Iruka said as he left just as Kurenai entered. "Wow, that chick is so hot. And she will be mine even if she is my sensei now," Kiba said. Kurenai looked at Kiba with a look of disgust. "Come with me, Team 8. Maybe I can teach some of you some manners," Kurenai said as she left. After everybody left, we all started creating some traps, and now the classroom is a death machine. When Kakashi entered, he dodged the eraser block but tripped on ninja wire and fell onto a trap door which dropped him from the ceiling of the same classroom, and he landed in the speaks but didn't flinch as they shimmered away, revealing them to be illusions. First impression. You're smart but dumb, and I will see you on the roof in 10 minutes or else, he said as he shunshined. We all shunshined to him and he had a look of surprise on his face. Tell me your name, hobbies, likes, dislikes and hopes for the future, he demanded. You first, we replied. Fine, my name is Kakashi Hatake. I have hobbies, I like stuff and I dislike stuff, and my hopes for the future is none of your business, he said with an eye smile. All he really told us was his name. Everybody said in their head as they sweat dropped. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. My hobbies are training and pranking. I like my friends, and if you prove decent you have a spot with your name. I dislike perverts, the villagers, people who judge what they don't know, and those who abandon their friends, and those who make fun of my family. My dream for the future is to show everybody what I am capable of. I answered. My name is Mito Uzumaki, and I know I can speak for everyone else who hasn't already spoken their dreams, but mine is that of Naruto's, and ours all together is to help Naruto achieve his dream and to show everyone our true selves. I like my friends, and if you prove decent, you have a spot with your name. I dislike perverts, the villagers, people who judge what they don't know, and those who abandon their friends, and those who make fun of or are rude to my family. Mito said. Ino, Sasuke and Natsumi all say, yeah, what they said. You all have a strong connection, that's good. Meet me at Training Ground 7, tomorrow at 7 o'clock sharp, and I suggest not to eat anything, he said as he disappeared. As we had nothing to do, we all went to Ichiraku's and enjoyed a big bowl of ramen. Hope you enjoyed. Just saw how many people say or read this, and I must say thank you. I can't wait till we meet again. I was walking down a path, it was uneven and meandered. It was almost as if a snake had carved this path by merely slithering to its destination. Mito was beside me as she always would be, and we ventured together. Out of nowhere a snake burst through the wall and crashed into and sent me flying. Mito ran up to me, but just as she reached me, the floor collapsed, and we fell down and down endlessly until I awoke with a gasp, but before I could look around and gain a sense of my surroundings I was punched into a wall. I looked at who punched me, and it was none other than Madara. You weakling, you train with me for 2 years and then wallow around doing nothing. You deserve to die, he said, and he sped towards me, and I did nothing but looked at my situation in my head. Madara, my grandpa, my beloved grandpa, had betrayed me like I was a useless piece of trash. I took a few beatings from Madara and seconds for me to understand. I screamed and gripped my head, and as if waiting, Mito ran upstairs to see me being beat. Madara Oji, what are you doing? It's Naruto, Mito said, screaming until he turned on her and hit her. How dare you, useless scum, get involved and try to stop me? You deserve to die. He turned on Mito and gave her a slap down, and all of a sudden, something clicked, deep inside. Nobody touches Mito. I roared and I rushed forward and gave Madara a good hit to the gut. Mito looked at me with her tear-stained face, but something caught my eyes, her blood-red eyes. I twisted around to look and noticed Madara was smiling and wasn't attacking or defending. I stopped attacking. What's your play here? I asked. He grinned as the world around me dissolved. So you fell for it? Well, at least you gained the Sharingan, and both of you, he said, laughing. Don't worry, you two, it's not going to happen again, just wanted to teach you some stuff before you go, he added. Kamui, he said casually, and with his Sharingan active. Space and time laws defied as the spiraling vortex appeared and we were sucked into it. We are in my Kamui dimension, which is an ability of the Mangekyo Sharingan. Don't interrupt. I will teach you of the Mangekyo soon, don't worry. Kamui is like teleporting into this place. Anyways, here we will train and you will learn of the Sharingan's abilities. 1 Kamui year or 1 minute later, so our time has finally finished. We have mastered the Sharingan's abilities, and we only took 1 minute, but our bodies are still used to what we did. I said. My hair had grown longer and now it reached the floor and is way spikier than before. My body was lean and was strong. Whereas, Mito had hair that reached her thighs, and it was also spiky with a crimson flower in her hair. We had both developed our own taijutsu styles and we were fluent in each other's, and to say we were masters would be an understatement. We could both beat Madara with our eyes closed. We also had learned of a way to utilize our dragon, phoenix and toad sage mode to its full capabilities. We got dressed and told the others what happened, as they live with us and their blood clone lives with their families. As Mito told them what to do, I visited Itachi and Fugaku because this was the last time he would see either of them for a long time. Fugaku walked to Naruto. You will be able to talk to us as I will visit often, and Itachi will be able to run in between Uzoshio and here. I will miss you, but you mustn't forget to train and make sure to give Hiruzen and the elders, especially Danzo, a goo right punch and a fireball on the Uchiha behalf. I hugged him and hugged Itachi and left as Sasuke walked in to say his goodbyes. He gave me a small smile before continuing on. I left towards Tsunade, gave her a hug and asked for a first aid kit. After that I collected my sword. My Fuinjutsu scrolls were moved towards their room that was connected to my Fuinjutsu scroll, which could be accessed via Fuinjutsu through my pouch. I also got my communicator scrolls and put the small note next to their ear and they went invisible. I also stocked my kunai and shuriken and we left towards training ground 7 at 5 o'clock in the morning. Don't forget, we got to train when we get there also since we are going early. I think it's safe to eat, don't you? I said. Let me guess, Ichiraku ramen, Sasuke said. Of course, Ichiraku, Mito and I said. We walked towards Ichiraku in happy vibe. We finished eating and we decided that we were gonna train at the designated ground and set some stuff up. Hey, who is gonna help the awesome, me, Naruto Uzumaki, the Obsidian Demon King, instead of training with Sasuke Teme? I asked in a bubbly tone. If you want I can, you are lucky the beauty queen of Konoha is gonna help you. Ino said with a flick of her long hair. The Ice Queen will help as well. Natsumi added. The Demon Queen shall grace you all with her presence. Mito said in mock arrogant voice. Since you Naruto Baka, can't do anything, the Crimson-Eyed Reaper, shall help with it. Sasuke added to the conversation with a grin, as we all looked at each other and burst out laughing. How about we all race to the training ground 7? Okay, ready. Glad we agreed. 3, 2, 1. Last one there is a rotten egg. I said, not giving anyone a chance to reply and I just burst off. Ino and the others just shook their heads and sped off leaving no evidence of them being there. As I saw Mito, next to me, we held out our hands and as they touched, we were gone as we sped off so fast, gaining speed from our surrounding. We arrived at training ground 7 and 5 minutes later, the others arrived. Come, whilst we were waiting we have been scoping the area, we found out we gonna do. I led them to a huge tree which could store a human. I put my hand on it and it opened up. Me and Mito went to work with seals all over the place and we stood on it. See you on the flip side. I said with a peace sign next to my face as the floor beneath fell and I was gone and I appeared in small room. I put my hands up and did a pushing gesture towards the wall and it pushed all the way back towards the clearing we were earlier and I ran there, others ran with me and I put hands and pulled them down as the ground went down without a sound. I put chakra into my legs and jumped upwards and landed in the clearing from earlier and me, Mito and Sasuke activated our Sharingan and cast a strong genjutsu over the part missing, then we deactivated the dojutsu and then Mito and I set to work with the seals to make that area seem like it is land and not just anyone fall over as soon as they walk over it. Then we all put an extreme amount of explosion seals underneath but only half would touch Kakashi if he fell for it. Then we went back to the main room and since the ground was slightly higher than the entrance Kakashi would not enter the tunnel system. We all set off towards different directions and towards different places. I went to the Hokage monument and office as well as the base we live in. Natsumi went to the Hyuga clan and Nara clan. Ino went to the Senju clan library and hospital. Mito went to the Hokage office and Sasuke to the Anbu headquarters and the Naka shrine and they all placed my surveillance seal in discrete areas but important and my seals go invisible and not even a level 100 seal master can detect them. These seals were connected to their Yang seal. The Yin seal will take and record information and send it to the Yang seal which will show us what the Yin seal sees and hears and if we want to record it. I decided that gaping hole in a tree would easily give people access so I left to go up. I went to the tree and made it so that only a person with a trio of our DNA, blood and chakra, which are fresh, can get in. I put another seal where if the tree is being attacked it will relocate itself and it will flash so bright and but only we can see it. I walked down and left to the trap and I pushed my hands upwards 10 times and 10 thick walls arose and I placed an indestructible seal on them so even if goes down there again, he can't come to us. I went to the walls of the training ground as well as the trees and placed the surveillance seals so that we could see them whilst we are still in here. I gave everyone my minuscule but effective communication seal. We can all talk to each other and our clones whilst they tell us where he is. We all made shadow clones and they nodded and walked into the surveillance room to monitor everything. I put a strengthened seal on them so they would be there until I say they can be dispelled or released into life or whatever. I sat down as the others came back and we looked at the clock. It was 7 o'clock. We all walked over to the middle of the training ground where the trap lay. The sky was beautiful, its shade a brilliant blue, the small, scattered clouds now grouped but in different areas, the birds flying all about to get to their destination. 2 hours later, we had been training for 2 hours and finally Kakashi showed up. In a burst of smoke the gravity-defying hair of the infamous copy ninja was revealed. He was reading a orange book called Icha Icha. I walked over to Kakashi and gave him a punch to the face whilst he still eye smiled. He looked at me and then continued to eye smile almost as if to infuriate me. Can you believe the nerve of this man? He walked into the middle. Your job for today is to get the 2 bells of me. Whoever has a bell passes, whoever doesn't goes back to the academy. I looked at them and we looked at him. You can't be serious, we said. Oh, I am serious all right. Fine. I replied. I ran up to him and feinted a punch but gave kick and watched as he flew back. I ran up to him so fast I left an afterimage of me going after him still as he turned to his left to run. He saw me with a fist just before his face. When it hit him, he burst in smoke, revealing him to be a clone. When the monitor clones, just gonna call them monitors, said that the real one was in the forest 10 meters away, on a tree branch. I looked around and saw my teammates surround him and prepare our 5-sided demons of hell jutsu. I walked to 10 meters away and brought my hand to the floor as a seal array connected to the others and surrounded Kakashi. I pushed fire chakra as my end of the seal, but just the one closest to me was lit in flames. Sasuke pushed lightning into his and our flames were mixed with lightning. Ino pushed water, and the flames grew hotter, and the lightning grew erratic. Mito pushed air and Natsumi pushed earth and the seal ignited. The trees burned away and columns of fire took its place. A wall of earth surrounded the area and a fire sprung out everywhere the seal touched. Burning water was on the floor and boiling anything and everything. Lightning arced down from the sky and hit something every 5 seconds. Kakashi looked up and eyes widened, noticed his new setting. 5 demons mixed with all the elements. They may have all the elements but there is always a predominant one. Walked in as the one with a red tint walked in with old villager-like clothing and a humongous axe as well as 2 horns on its shoulders. It had a devilishly handsome face but glowing red eyes. The earth one walked in with a jade armor and a jade sword. She had 2 horns on her shoulders and a helmet. The air one walked in with monk robes and her face had a horn sticking out from the middle of her head and she had a shakuho and a wakizashi blade with 2 horns on its shoulder and in the cardinal points of the head. The water one walked in with a dress that was blue as well as blue skin, wonderful flowing blue hair but a gigantic nodaichi on her back. A man with a baby blue armor, reminiscent of Madara's, a gigantic gunbai on his back and baby blue long hair, which reached his mid-back. He had lightning blue eyes and yet again, a handsome face. They all took out their weapons. Kakashi started sweating and screamed as he realized he was being burned. He ran and climbed up the wall and jumped down the other side to see the same setting as before as the demons walked like civilized people through the door. Kakashi repeated what he just did until all of a sudden the whole image seeped away and he found himself in the middle of a clearing and Naruto touching the floor then, Kai. And he found himself falling into a pit with lots paper. Weird, he thought until he realized that those were explosive notes. A massive boom rang out, and Naruto raised previously missing part of the floor to ground level and took the bells from Kakashi and as his teammates came, he cut the 2 bells into 5 pieces each and gave 2 pieces to everyone. Ino and Natsumi walked over to Kakashi and slapped him in the face. He sat up. No, Genin, don't kill me, he said in a slurred voice as he woke up and then realized who he was talking to. Aha. You have yet to get the bells from, he said as he felt where the bell should have been, and a sigh of relief escaped his mouth until it burst into smoke. Well, since you cut the bells and you all have it, then you pass, he said regaining his hunched posture and eye smile but with his clothes and book burned. His clothes in rags and his book ashes in the woods. 3 months later, we have been at D-rank missions for 3 months, it is so freaking boring. I mean sure Tora is nice to us considering we don't chase her with a kunai. But seriously, does ninja really mean hireable good for everythings? No. It should not and it does not. I mean who goes and hires a ninja to babysit? Most people think of us as bloodthirsty killers who sometimes go rogue. I demand a D rank right now, as a matter of fact. I walked up to Kakashi. We have been doing useless D ranks for 3 months. Let's do a B or at least a C rank. I asked. I agree, this an absolute waste of time. Everybody agreed. This is supposed to improve teamwork. Kakashi said sagely. Yeah, well, we grew up together, trained together, learnt together, beat you together, did D-rank missions together. We should be doing individual stuff because we know each other inside out, outside inside, easy peasy, I answered. I suppose that's true. As we walked towards the Hokage office, we saw Shikamaru and his team and immediately, we all put on our cold expressions. Shikamaru walked up. Hey Bakas. Mito walked up and slapped him. Yeah, I still love you too, Mito, he replied. I walked up to him and grabbed him by the collar and Asuma jumped down. Immediately my team surrounded me, except Kakashi. Listen up, loser, the only baka here is you. I believed you to be a decent guy and let you be friends with us. You said you loved Mito and I left that to Mito. I trusted you, we trusted you. You broke that trust, now look what I will do to you. Look at my sister, even be in the same room and you will face the same punishment you will now face. Asuma jumped at Mito, who was closest to me. I darted next to her and kicked Asuma and watched as he flew through the trees. You Asuma Sarutobi are not worth my time currently. I said. I kicked Shikamaru in the face and he flew to the Hokage monument, and before he could hit my dad's face, I was behind him in Shun Shin. I slapped him to the hospital. After me slapping him around, I increased the speed until the sky was darkening and lightning arced down, and using chakra, I caught the lightning and manipulated its form until was a ball. I formed a fireball in my other hand and as Shikamaru looked at me through his swollen eyes. I cut off his toes and slammed the fireball into his stomach. Remember, citizens of Konoha, none shall touch any of Naruto Uzumaki's friends without losing a limb. I said, using chakra to demonify and make my voice louder so that all may hear. Kakashi looked at me in shock. He just unknowingly created a Chidori and finished a version of Minato Sensei's Rasengan in one fell swoop. Kakashi thought. That kid is something else, Asuma thought. Orochimaru-sama shall be pleased. Kabuto Yakushi thought. That's my Oni-chan. Mito thought. Naruto is so cool. Natsumi thought. I am so glad we are friends. Sasuke and Ino thought. I shunshine before gravity could pull me down. I will meet with everyone at Ichiraku's in 3 hours. I said. The chapter is end here, now we will meet with another chapter.